Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, right after my stream, Bitcoin pumped up and it's nearing 59,000. In fact, it was nearing 60,000. But things are recovering. Like I said, I expected that we will be coming up. We got through this mini little dip and things are looking pretty good so far. But recently, because of the dip, plenty of buying opportunities. I'm going to show you guys exactly which crypto that I bought into, my top DCA targets, because I believe they're fantastic projects. So, as always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news and articles and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome. Saturday night, I think. Yes, it's Saturday night. And you know what? Bitcoin pumped up, pumped up pretty good. Pretty good. Right after my stream, that's the kind of effect I have. I can move the market by tens of billions of dollars. That's... I'm just joking. No, I cannot. But you know what? After my stream, Bitcoin did jump up. It went as high as 59.7. Now it came down a little bit, still 59,000, right? But it does seem like this recent dip, we did find a bottom right around 55,000. I've been showing you guys a lot of early plays. Thank you for that. I've been showing you guys a lot of fractal patterns and metrics that show that, hey, Bitcoin is ready for the next wave, ready for the next leg up that could drive us towards $100,000 and plus. Right? So, like I always say, you take advantage of the situation if you can. So whenever there are dips, right? Good time to DCA. Doesn't mean that you go all in. Doesn't mean that you have to buy anything. But if you have the ability to, why not, right? When things are down 20%, why would you not take advantage? It's a like a Black Friday discount, which is coming up, right? So that's exactly what I did recently. And I told you guys a lot about the projects, went through the list many times before, right? But there are a few that I did buy into because basically my exposure to them was, in my opinion, not enough, right? I don't even know the number, but I have a good amount, like probably 20 or 30 coins overall, including Bitcoin and, of course, altcoins. But there are some that I felt like it was just not enough, right? Maybe they fell down a little bit more than I wanted to. So I'm like, okay, it's a good time to DCA. Or I simply didn't have it, so I wanted to get some exposure to it, right? So today we'll go over about 5 or 6 that I have prepared for you guys. And let's just go through them, right? Now, a lot of times I talk about a lot of L1s and stuff like that. This time around, not so much because I already have so many L1s. But I did DCA a little bit more into Bitcoin because knowing that Bitcoin was just at 68,000 and knowing that Bitcoin will be above 100,000, when Bitcoin was down around 56,000, I'm like, hey, why not? So I decided to buy a little bit more Bitcoin because I know that right now I'm not up to that 50%, 50, 25, 25 rule. It's still not quite there yet. So I'm like, okay, why not, right? Buy some cheap Bitcoin. So I did buy some Bitcoin right off the bat. Now, going down the list, I did not buy any more ETH or BNB or Solana or Cardano or Polkadot, right? I didn't buy any of those because actually my exposure to them was good enough, especially ETH. I have a good amount of ETH. I have a good amount of Binance Coin. I have a good amount of Solana, right? Cardano, not so much, but I think I have just enough. And Polkadot, I did not buy any Doge, in case you're wondering. I didn't buy any SHIB, but I just noticed Avalanche flipped with SHIB, and it's at number 11, right? And I've been telling you guys about Avalanche, and I did buy more Avalanche, despite the fact it is very high already, I know. But I got into Avalanche pretty early, around, I think, like 40s or 50s. So it has more than doubled within a short amount of time, but I think Avalanche still go higher. So I bought a little more. I bought a little more Avalanche, right? And the reason being, I'm just paying attention to what's going on with Avalanche's ecosystem. And you just have to just go on their Twitter and you'll realize how active they are. Okay, if you just go to Avalanche, I mean, this is scrolling down a little bit. They had exchange listings, they have partnerships, right? They have all these metrics that show you how their wallets, transactions, TVL keeps growing. I mean, their Twitter is nonstop, nonstop news about the ecosystem and how it's growing, right? And it just, you know, I've lived through so many of these L1s that came from basically nothing to a big cap, you know, top tier 1 project, right? Simply with momentum, that's huge, and also with adoption and traction, right? And right now, Avalanche has both. There's just no stopping it. You can tell TVL is growing. It's nearing the same size as Solana now. You have a ton that's utilizing the Avalanche bridge. And then the unique wallets goes up, inflow using the bridge, right? There's a lot of metrics that show that Avalanche is just growing nonstop. And it's not just with DeFi, with NFTs as well. And they're just doing all the right things right now. And when you see a L1 project that has this kind of traction and momentum, you know what? You usually want to ride it. Just like Ethereum back in the day and even within the last year, just like Solana within this last year, right? And I think Avalanche is definitely in that same spot, right? So I do believe they're going to go higher. They could be right around where Polkadot is in the near future. So I loaded up a little bit more on Avalanche. I just feel like their ecosystem and what they're doing is quite tremendous. It's quite tremendous. Also, they formed a new partnership with Deloitte. That's a huge thing too, right? And let's talk about NFTs, like Topps NFTs running on Avalanche. And they also launched a $200 million fund to develop the ecosystem even more. This is a good amount of money, right? So that's number one. That is Avalanche. As big as they are, I still think they have promise, they have potential, and they're the one and only projects in the top 15 that is in the green, despite the fact we just had this correction. Shows you how strong they actually are. Look at the last 7 days. Bitcoin's down 5%, Ethereum down 6%, Solana down 11%, XRP down 9%, Polkadot down 12%, Doge down 12%. Avalanche is up 31% last 7 days. Shows you that they definitely do have that momentum and people really believe in them. All right, number two, scrolling down. No, I didn't buy SHIB. I have enough Terra already. I like them a lot. And no, I didn't FOMO into Litecoin. I did buy more CRO. I had very, very, very small amount. And I'm like, well, this is time to load up. Even though, again, some of you guys, well, it's so big already. Why would you load up now? Because I'm paying attention to what they're doing, and I don't think anyone is close of stopping them. In terms of their traction right now, they are on top of the moon. In fact, they have more traction, I would say, after the recent arena steal from Staples. I would say that puts them ahead, even FTX. Despite the fact that FTX has been making brands and brand sponsorships and so forth, nothing really beats stealing the Los Angeles arena, stealing that away from Staples and turning it into Crypto.com Stadium. That is just enormous, okay? And if you go into Crypto.com's Twitter, you'll see that there's a lot of exciting things going on, right? They're doing a lot of stuff. A lot of NFT stuff. They're into F1 and with a lot of celebrities and UFC and many others. So they definitely have a lot of brand partnerships. But besides that, right? I mean, just take a look at that. That is going to be enormous. Enormous. It's going to bring so much attention to them just from that alone, right? Now, besides NFTs and the arena, I mean, they're just doing a lot of other stuff too. In terms of marketing, they have billboards everywhere. They have TV commercials everywhere. And if you actually use the app, it's actually a friendly app, and they keep adding more and more tokens to their apps too. So it's not like they're doing all this advertisement and it's just a really bad experience. No, it's not. If you go ahead and use the app, it's pretty good. It's a universal wallet. They're adding more and more tokens every single week, it seems like, right? And they're worldwide. They're actually based in Singapore, but you know, they're worldwide pretty much everywhere. So I really like Crypto.com, and they definitely have the momentum as well. So when you spot something that has a momentum, it doesn't mean that you FOMO in, but if you don't have an exposure, you may want to think about it. And I told you guys recently that, hey, once they kind of top out and they have that breather, it could be a good time to get in. That's why I decided to increase my exposure to Crypto.com. All right, now scrolling down a little bit, I have a lot of stuff here. I hold a good amount of Chainlink, Polygon, even some in Algorand. VeChain I have a ton of, but what I don't have a ton of is Decentraland. So I decided to add in a little bit more for Decentraland. And the reason being, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big metaverse guy, okay? I don't like VR stuff. I don't like AR stuff. I don't like a lot of virtual world stuff. But I'm trying to think outside, get out of my comfort zone, and I'm trying to look at it this way, right? Hey, if everything's turning digital, we're going from fiat to digital currency. We're going from newspaper and print, right, magazines to digital. Why can't we have shops that are digital, right? Why can't we have virtual worlds where people can actually live and interact and buy and do other services within the virtual world? And that's exactly what's starting to happen. It's still early, but it's starting to happen. So Decentraland is obviously the biggest metaverse out there, and it's decentralized. So it's definitely a work in progress. It's not complete by any means, but they are the biggest in this space. And generally speaking, the biggest, right, has all the traction going for it, and they definitely do. And this is what really like opened my mind. And I don't think this is just like a PR stunt. It could be, but it really opened my mind in terms of what could happen in a virtual world, right? The fact that you have a country, Barbados, that's trying to open a virtual embassy within, and that you could actually do stuff within, right? It makes me think, wow, many people can really, just kind of live a second life in Decentraland. There was a Bruce Willis film that was all about this, where people got so addicted to the virtual world, to the metaverse world, they never wanted to go into real life anymore. They just want to stick in the virtual world. Hopefully we never get to that point, but it's starting to happen. So not only do you have virtual embassy, but like Atari is building a virtual casino. So rather than visit a real casino, you could actually do it in Decentraland too, right? So there's a lot of things you can do, and another small project like Boson Protocol is making it so that you can turn anything physical into a virtual item, right? And vice versa. So if you do actually buy something in the metaverse, you can actually redeem it for a physical item, right? So it's opening my mind in terms of what the metaverse can do, although it's very early. But I'm like, hey, you know what? Facebook is going all in on this. So there's only going to be more attention and adoption in terms of metaverse. And, why not back the biggest one out there, right? So I decided to buy it a little bit more. Decentraland, since I didn't have a lot of Decentraland. All right. Now going down, I know Elrond is doing good because I talked about it this morning. I didn't buy any more Elrond, although I have some. But Elrond, in case you guys are wondering, because their Meyer decks opened up yield farming, that's why they're doing very good right now. And they're going to continue to do well. But going down the list here, a lot of this stuff I already have. Like I have a lot of exposure to Cosmos and Theta, and Phantom. But I decided to load up a little bit more on Helium. And Helium is interesting because it's unlike anything else out there. Helium is all about using antennas, which they call miners, to power the network and to provide Wi-Fi bandwidth, okay? Wi-Fi signal. So they started out with just low bandwidth Wi-Fi, basically for IoT devices. So if you're traveling around a city, you may have your watch or whatever that needs to get data. That's what they're good for. But what really changed my mind was when I found out that they were going heavy into a 5G. And we know 5G is the future of phones. Every single wireless carrier is trying to utilize 5G in some way, right? And when Helium got into that, and when they partnered up with Dish Network, that's when things really, really changed for them and really changed for me. Because going from just a low power network to a high power 5G network that anyone could use, right? And get rewarded for helping powering the network, that is pretty big. And when they signed up with Dish Network, you know that they're considered a serious player now, right? So ever since this happened, Helium has been doing really well, and they've really blown up, right? And I covered Helium very early on. I had very, 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 very small amount. Now I have a lot more because I think this is really going to carry them. And plus, I don't know, they could be an acquisition target. Maybe Dish Network wants to buy out Helium altogether. I don't know how that works with a open source project, but hey, this definitely puts you know, in the acquisition target territory. But regardless of that, I think their 5G network, that's a pretty good upgrade to what they were doing. And if you look up Helium, they have like 200,000 plus miners out there worldwide, not just in the US, worldwide, widely used, and is very profitable too. If you run your miner, very, very profitable. So that's Helium. What else is there? Well, going down a little bit more, another project that I think is very undervalued is Enjin. Enjin is a project from all the way back from 2017, kind of like overlooked by many until this year. But Enjin has been doing well because they're in the NFT/metaverse space. And they decided to build a whole chain and dedicate $100 million towards it. And that is the new Infinity chain that is currently being auctioned right now to become a parachain on Polkadot, right? So they are getting very, very serious about it to, first of all, make this a parachain and bring dApps to come on board, right? To build out this ecosystem. So that is pretty big, but Enjin has been around for quite some time. They have an NFT marketplace, right? And their new standard, I shouldn't say new, I think it's been around for a while, but their standard allows other projects to create tokens with and create NFTs with, right? And, oh yeah, that standard is the 1155 standard. So, and they have a universal wallet, and they have a partnership with Samsung too that a lot of people forget. The key store from Samsung, that's actually built with Enjin. So Enjin has a lot of things going for it, okay? But I do think that this new Infinity chain could be a game changer for them. And with metaverses getting bigger, it's only going to help them. So I like Enjin. Now, next up is right underneath, and that's Harmony. I've supported Harmony for quite some time. They're layer 2 turned layer 1, right? EVM compatible chain that has sharding available. And they recently also launched a 300 million fund to accelerate builders, to get more people on board, right? And they do have a robust DeFi ecosystem. The TVL isn't growing, about 400 million. They have some NFT projects that's also doing very good, but they're more like a traditional L1, right? They're building up, still early, US based from Silicon Valley. I've interviewed Steven Tsai before. You can find that interview on my channel, but overall, I think they're doing the right things, and they're still relatively low, so they could definitely go up a lot more. So loaded up a little bit more on Harmony. Now, the last two, number one is Wax, and I picked them up because I've noticed, again, they do have a lot of momentum right now. Okay, Wax is also a project from 2017, all about NFTs and games. Okay, they have the gaming platform, and you know what? Back in the day, they were one of the hottest NFT platforms out there. And today, they have grown substantially. But earlier this year, very little people paid attention until now because metaverses have started and gotten really, really popular. So Wax finally is getting the attention, right? They have a lot going on. For example, their volume for NFTs is number 2 of all L1 blockchains. They're right behind Ethereum. That's how big they are. Okay, they have a ton of volume already, and they're signing up all the major toy companies too, Hasbro, Funko, Mattel, and they have so much more. There's so many play to earn games on Wax as well. So definitely, I think they have potential to go a lot higher based on their volume, based on their gains, based on the NFTs that's onboarding Wax, right? And plus they have the momentum. I think they could go a lot higher. And lastly is a project that I picked up recently, and that is Flux. Because I got into Cadena, and I told you guys I do think Cadena has a lot of future, I decided to look up, okay, who's their biggest partner? And I would have to argue that it has to be Flux. Because right now, the only mobile wallet out there, Zelcore, is created by Flux. So that's number 1. And Flux also had a very old relationship going back all the way to 2020 with Cadena. So they have something called Zel nodes, because Flux is all about decentralized nodes. Okay, so basically you could power your dApps on top of their decentralized clouds, right? But they do have it so that you can run Cadena nodes on top of it and get rewarded for not only Flux tokens, but Cadena. So they do have this. And Cadena is going to bring liquidity to Flux too with their DEX. So there's a really close relationship between the two companies. So I believe as Cadena gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it's only going to help Flux because the two are very, very tightly integrated. So that's why I decided to pick up some Flux as well, because I like this relationship more so because I like Cadena and I like what they're doing, and I think they're going to have a bright future. So there you go. There you go. So that's the list. That's some of the projects I picked up recently within the last few weeks or so. This is not a list saying that these are the best projects, but just keep that in mind that I'm very exposed in some of these other projects, but these are the ones I'm lighter on, so I decided to pick up some more. All right, guys, let's do some Q&A now. Ooh, I said a lot there. And I apologize for everyone that super chatted early. They disappear. It's not my fault. So I apologize. I just apologize if they disappeared. Cody, I did not catch his rant a couple days ago. Now you're making me curious. Thoughts on Cocos BCX? No. Are you only asking me because it pumped up so much? Okay, if it could load. Not loading. Okay, no thoughts. No thoughts since the website can't load. LGBT, what is this? All right, I'm not going to look at that. One can buy 100,000 sats right now for $60. What's holding everyone back? I don't know. You know, but the number of sats you could buy is decreasing based on the dollar. So, yeah, 10 years ago with $1, you could have bought 44 million sats. Today, you can only buy 1,700 sats with $1. But even a year ago, you could have bought 5,300 sats. So, yeah, if you're holding on to $1, not only is it inflating and devaluing, but the number of Bitcoins or sats that you can buy is decreasing at an astronomical rate. All right, let's see. If I looked at scale, yeah, this is a layer 2, right? For Ethereum, last 90 days, no movement at all. Build powerful dApps, run dApps in decentralized modular cloud for real. Okay, it's not a layer 2. It's decentralized cloud. So I have seen this before, but it doesn't look like they have any traction at all. 90 days, 12 months. Let's see. Yeah, they have no traction at all. My Flux needs 1.2 gigawatts. I really wish they remake Back to the Future or do a Back to the Future 5 or something like that. I really enjoyed that series as I was growing up. Geostone, thanks George, because you had decided not to sell. TLM. I don't know which one. Alien Worlds or Talium? I don't know. I don't know either one. Geostone. Can you look at Sin City Metaverse? It looks amazing. I don't know about that. Let's see. I don't know if I can bring this up. There might be some bad stuff in here. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at this. Obviously, project that has no momentum right now, or none at all. Let's see. What would you suggest for bear market holding? It really depends. As long as you have cash, that's all really matters. The bear market was going to bring everything down. But if you have cash on the side, 25, 30, 35% in cash, you'll be able to buy the dips. You'll be able to buy towards the bottom. Then you could bring your dollar cost average, right? Your average down, then you're good. What are your thoughts on a new Kronos chain, Crypto.com chain? I don't know much about it. I just know that all the hype right now is towards Efinity. Their own new personal chain, I don't know too much about. So I have to do more research into them. Yearn Finance, I'm not a fan of. Too many hacks. 3 hacks. You know, what's that saying? I forgot the saying. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, well, you should just not be in the game. One step ahead, thank you. Zhang, thank you. I don't know what Signum Network is. Kieran says Ecomi. I still do like Ecomi quite a bit. Where are they now? Yeah, they have not gotten back to their all-time high yet, but they are starting to trend up. But it's important because they do have all the licensing. I think that's important in the future. Right now, nope. In the future, definitely. Right now, it's kind of Wild West. Anyone just creates any NFTs they want. But in the future, that's not going to be the case anymore. All right. I'm losing my voice, getting tired. Last few questions. Kirby, thank you. Thoughts on dot slumping? Yes, it will recover. Any news on Mt. Gox? No. It's still pending. You know, the date could be well into 2022 or 2023 before they give any Bitcoin back. So no news. Ada Quest NFT card game. No, I don't look at NFT stuff really. Not those like kind of collections or card games. Do do you ever consider expanding into a team where you have multiple people putting up videos? I thought about that. I don't know how well people are going to take it. You know, to be honest, this last Friday, a lot of you guys know Jordan, right? Jordan Cameron. So I was talking to him to create some custom videos for me. And because I don't stream Friday nights, you know, I was thinking about getting him to do it. And he agreed, but we had miscommunication this last week. But I was thinking about doing that, you know. It's going to be a new face. But it's if it's well received, I'd love to continue doing it. I'll get him some publicity too. But you guys tell me if you like that idea or not. Stratos. Stratos. I don't. Oh. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at that. Kirby. Os. Thank you. Foam. Never heard of it. When do you think a bear market will occur? It depends on how high we go. It really depends on how high and how fast we go, and then that'll determine how much we come down. Is it a good time to get in graph? What's your end of year prediction? I don't have an end of year prediction for graph, but whenever it's down 20%, be a pretty good pickup point. Although it did come up a little bit based on today, but the last few days it was about down 20%. Sold all my soul due to the dip, felt dumb and had to buy back. This is why you don't panic sell. I've always said this. No one ever wins panic selling because for that very reason. You panic sell and then you realize, well, now it's going back up. You have to buy it back and now you have less of it, right? So I'm sorry to hear that, but don't ever panic sell. Just make sure you have enough cash on the side so that if it dips, you're able to buy it and dollar cost average down. What is your preferred exchange to purchase crypto from? Yeah, I don't like Coinbase, but there's a lot in the U.S. Gemini, Voyager, you know, was it Binance.us? Of course, there's Crypto.com. Of course, there's Kraken, and I like KuCoin. They're still open for U.S. residents. Gate.io is pretty good, so there's several that I use. Michael, welcome to a member. All right, I think that's pretty much it. I'll let you guys go. Overall, things are looking pretty good. Pretty good, right? We're back up to 59,000, maybe 60,000 plus by the time we wake up tomorrow, right? And altcoins are coming back, but not all of them. Not all of them. Some are still down from their recent high, right? So still opportunity to buy in the dip. Of course, the last few days were better. But you know what? I think greater things are coming. So make sure you guys stay in the game and we'll all attain life-changing wealth together. All right. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Last few questions. Immutable X is good, but there's a lot of layer 2s out there. And API 3, no, just look at Chainlink. All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.